We can learn an awful lot by watching children, especially very young children, about how they learn. When children are very young and they haven't been influenced by emotional pressures and by expectations from adults usually, they learn in such a natural way. One of the things that children naturally do whenever they're very intent on learning something, whether it's when they're just learning to walk, even that advanced, or even as infants, when they're learning what will happen when they reach out with a foot or with a hand and they're trying to connect that with some sort of a response. Do they touch something? Do they touch someone? Does it happen once or twice? Does it repeat the same thing? They go very slowly. You'll see that they kick kind of sporadically, and then when they're actually trying to learn and find out exactly what's going on, they're much more patient with themselves. They're much more attentive and much more aware of what they're doing. And this is one of the effects of slowing down. So what I'm going to advise is that whenever you really want to learn something and you're very intent on learning it, try and forget, if you can, about the pressures that are on you, about expectations you have for yourself, and really focus on slowing down your movements, slowing down your thoughts, slowing down the process that you're going through when you're learning something. We have an inherent tendency that we learn, unfortunately, soon after we have learned a lot of things very easily as children, we then start to be affected by pressures, by expectations, by sometimes our parents wanting us to do better, and we want to, of course, please them and live up to their expectations. But what we do is we then start hurrying. We then start trying to rush through things. And the thing that happens when we start rushing is we then make it very difficult for new neural pathways to be formed. As a matter of fact, when you move very quickly, you will tend to use neural pathways that are already familiar to you. So if you choose to move quickly or you choose to do something fast instead of slow it down, you're going to do it the way that you already know how. And if you don't know how to do it, you won't be able to because you're trying to do it too fast. So slowing things down is not just calming, of course it is, and it's not just a way to sort of collect your thoughts, but it really is a way to optimize the ability of your brain to form new connections. Think of it as kind of a path in the woods. If someone has taken a path in the woods and it's hard to find, then not many people have taken it, then you don't necessarily go running down it because you can't see it, right? Once the path is more clearly defined, more people have taken it, more animals maybe, then you can clearly, easily find that path. And then if you want to, you can actually go running down the path without fear of losing your place because you can very clearly see it. It's very well traveled. The same thing happens with neural connections in our brains. And when we're learning, what we're doing is we're creating new neural connections and giving them meaning, making them some sort of purposeful in our lives. So we want to slow down until we've taken that path enough times that we then can easily find it each time we need to, and then we can start speeding up, then we can start putting more effort, we can start taking little branches off the path too and kind of exploring this way and that way. But until we start down that path and we start forming those neural connections, it's very important to keep the process slow. So what do you do? What are you trying to learn right now? And are you trying to speed through the process, or do you have the ability, can you remind yourself to slow down? Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to how you move. Pay attention to what you're thinking. Pay attention to each step in the process. Not overanalyzing it, but simply taking it slow enough that it's not impossible for you to take it all in and to form the connections and to make sense of each connection as you form them. Pay very close attention when you're learning something now, the rest of your life, the rest of this week, tomorrow, today, and notice when you're trying to learn something, do you start to try and rush through it? Do you feel pressure? Do you feel anxiety? Do you feel expectations from yourself or other people? Try and calm that down, slow yourself down, and you'll find that you learn it much more efficiently, and eventually something that took you 20 minutes is going to take you only 5 minutes. So, and that's my process that I found in simply learning how to do videos. The same thing. The first time I put a video up on a blog, I think it took me 20 minutes. Now it's a really quick process and I feel a lot more comfortable with it because that neural pathway or those sets of neural pathways that are connected with putting up a video, I'm familiar with them. The path in the woods is clear and I can not quite run down it, but I'm starting to, walk a little faster, maybe trot a little bit, jog a little bit now and then. and it feels more comfortable. So I hope this helped you, and I hope that this will lend some kind of a gift and improvement to your ability to learn whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.